说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello there, newbies. This is Chinese Pod, and I am Ken Carroll.
Hi, I'm Jenny.
And we're coming to you from Shanghai, China. We have a burning issue we want to look at today.
Yes, you have a burning desire to make a pun.
Okay, so tell us about the lesson then.
Oh, we're talking about smoke.
Smoking. Smoking.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you straight up front. We had a major sort of scandal here about a year ago when Eric sort of saying that smoking was cool.
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You got the most comments that were ever made in the thread. So I'm tempted to say that smoking is cool, but I won't. It's a low form of entertainment. But I have to admit that I do smoke. I smoke cigars.
And a lot of people smoke in China.
A lot of people, China, oh, you got to be kidding. I mean, I don't like smoke every day, all day. I smoke a couple of cigars a week. I really do like to have a cohiba with the compañeros.
Oh.
You know?
What about Monte Cristo?
Monte Cristo, you bet. Like them all. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're going to give you a simple dialogue about how to bum a cigarette. If that is the kind of person you are, and I'm not suggesting that you are a Chinese pod listener who goes around bumming, but just in the event that you are,
Here's the language.
here's how you do it. All right, let's listen to it 3 times, shall we?
Dialogue first time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Second time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Third time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Well, all right, let's translate it.
好。有没有烟？
You got a smoke?
有没有烟？
You got a cigarette?
有没有烟？有。要火吗？
Yeah, do you need a light?
有。要火吗？
Yeah, do you need a light?
有。要火吗？要。谢谢。
Yeah, thanks.
要。谢谢。
Yeah, thanks.
要。谢谢。不用谢。
Don't mention it.
不用谢。
Don't mention it.
不用谢。
Notice how my translations were sort of suitably degenerate, and Jenny's like was just pristine, sort of.
I want
nice.
to add some life and warmth to the
It's
lesson.
obvious that you have never smoked. You don't even have the voice for it, really. You can tell. Now, let's take a look at it because it's apart from the smoking element, there's some very simple but really high frequency patterns
Yes.
for asking questions and responding to questions here.
Yep.
And maybe we can talk about smoking in China at the end because it is scary the amount of smoking that goes on here.
Prolific issue.
Okay, so let's take it from the top and look at it in a little more detail.
有没有烟？有没有烟？
Okay, now 2 things I think are very interesting here. The first thing is the word yen,
Yes.
which is first tone,
Yeah.
and that literally means
Smoke.
smoke. It literally means smoke.
Yeah, the noun.
Yeah,
Smoke.
the noun smoke. Now, in English, when you say if you got a smoke, it's very, very colloquial. If you were to say it in proper English, it would say, do you have a cigarette? But actually, in Chinese, this is how it's always referred to.
Yeah, so they almost match
they almost
exactly.
match. Yeah,
有没有烟？
So first tone, again, for smoke is
烟， 烟
Now, that obviously applies to smoke coming from a fire or
yeah, or a
anywhere
cigarette.
else. Where else would a smoke come from? I don't know. Anyway, so here's a pattern which is really useful. Do you have?
有没有？有没有？
No, super, super, super effective way to
Yes.
ask a question. Let's look at it. Now, the verb is to have, and that is
有
yo,
third tone.
third tone. Sounds like a rapper who's being sort of subdued. Yo, as opposed to yo.
有
You're saying yo.
有
Okay.
the subdued rapper.
Indeed. So it's the third tone, right? So let's hear it again.
有
Yo. Now, the negative form, as in not have, is
没有？没有
mayo, meaning
don't have.
yes, it does not have the negative. Now, this is a really common kind of construction in Chinese,
Yeah.
where you put a verb with its negative form to form a question. And in this case, it's
有没有？有没
so
有
literally translated would be have, not have, right?
Yeah, so the question means, do you have?
Indeed. Have not have smoke. How telegraphic is that? Isn't that nice? Have not have smoke? Have.
有没有烟
Yes.
And in this case, it's the affirmative.
Yes, which is
有
yo.
有
Now notice that you reply with the same verb. You don't
Yeah.
use auxiliaries in Chinese. You
No.
use the same verb that you hear in the
question.
question. So literally translated again, it's like have, no have, smoke, have. Isn't that kind of nice?
Yes.
That really works. Yo, meaning I have. Now, again, you don't even need a pronoun here. You just yo, the verb to have.
Yeah.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
Now, and once again, we are pronoun-less. And we asked in reply, do you need a light?
要火吗？要火吗？
Now, notice that this is your pal who's giving you the cigarette. He's giving you the cigarette. He said, do you need a light with that? Now, the verb yao,
means to want.
to want
or to need.
Fourth tone.
Yes.
Yao.
要
And the word for light is,
火火
now, huo is third tone.
Yes.
And it literally means
fire.
fire. Now, want fire. Huh? It's great. What a language.
Very rapper language, hey?
Indeed.
Yo, fire.
Yes, yes, indeed. And so there's a particle here to form a question, and that is,
吗？吗？
so none of this transformational grammar or this Chomsky and stuff in Chinese, nothing changes, right? Words forms don't change, word order don't really change. You just stick a ma at the end, and you have a question. How cool is that? So let's hear again. Do you want a light?
要火吗？要火吗
Yao huo ma literally is want fire.
Fire. Question mark.
Okay. Now, and once again, you use the verb in the question to answer. And you say,
要
yao, fourth tone again, meaning want.
Yep.
Want fire? Want. It's
So,
great.
yeah, taking us to the primitive days.
Yes. Want fire? Want. Yeah. It's so cool, you know. Now, and then, of course, the thanks.
谢谢，谢谢。
谢谢. Yeah. Now, the word 谢谢 obviously is just your standardized way of saying thanks. I find in all around China, the pronunciation can vary quite a lot on how that's actually said, but it doesn't matter.
The standard is 谢谢，
谢谢. Right.
谢谢。
Yeah. And then don't mention it.
不用谢，不用谢。
Now, again, the same 谢.
Yes.
Thanks. 不用谢. Now, 用 meaning
Use.
use. In this case, it's not necessary. Not use.
No
不用.
use
Yes.
for thanks.
Yes. There's no There is no need in that sense for thanks.
对。
不用谢. Great. So that's really high frequency stuff. You know, somebody says 谢谢, you just go 不用谢.
不用谢.
You can say it in almost any context, I believe.
Yep.
Don't mention it. That's perfectly okay. There you go. Now, so that's your smokers, the camaraderie between the, you know, the sort of coughing sort of.
The smoking allies.
Indeed, yes, yes. So let's listen to that 3 more times, shall we?
好。Dialogue first time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Second time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Third time.
有没有烟？
有。要火吗？
要。谢谢。
不用谢。
Now, I just want to emphasize that, you know, we're not encouraging you to smoke.
No.
It's up to you. What kind
And yeah, today's language is very high frequency.
It
you can
is.
replace it with any other
You bet.
subject.
Stuff like 有没有.
有没有
Stuff like listening to the verb in the question and using that verb to answer.
Yeah.
Stuff like being able to drop pronouns. Right? All of this stuff. Stuff like being able to say 不用谢.
还有
There's no
谢
need.
谢
Xie
Of course.
There you go. So all of this is super high frequency language. If you took the yen, as in the cigarette, out of that, you could be applied to almost anything. Well, you wouldn't say, would you like, here's a book. Can I get the fire to go with that? No, but you get my drift here.
Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
for more, go to ChinesePod.com.
That's right. Remember, the patterns are where it's at. We learn by exposure to patterns, right? We learn by exposure to patterns. So that's why we always try to point out the patterns here so you can get them and see them over and over again. That's
Yeah.
what we do here on Chinese Pod.
Yes.
And that's what we'll be doing again tomorrow
对。
when we have another lesson for you. But until then, we have to say
再见
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
0760
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/0760 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/0760